All right, chapter 5, verse 10. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves abundance with its income. This too is vanity. Okay? He's going back to, he goes, I tried these things. When good things increase, those who consume them increase. They become a little Ghibli, right? So what is the advantage to their owners except to look on? The sleep of the working man is pleasant, whether he eats little or much. But the full stomach of the rich man does not allow him to sleep. There is a grievous evil which I have seen under the sun, riches being hoarded by their owner to his hurt. When those riches were lost through bad investment and he had fathered a son, then there was nothing to support him. As he had come naked from his mother's womb, so he will return as he came. He will take nothing from the fruit of his labor that he can carry in his hand. Verse 18, here's what I have seen to be good and fitting, to eat, to drink, and enjoy oneself in all one's labor in which he toils under the sun, during the few years of his life which God has given him, for this is his reward. Okay? So I'm going to just give you a concept that might be a little foreign. It's okay to just really enjoy life, right? And sometimes as Christians we think we have to be a Mother Teresa or self-induced poverty, giving everything away to help people, right? And we have this concept of, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people have a concept of feeling guilt for having enough and having what they need, and feeling like somehow it's wrong and they should be doing something different with it. Does that make sense? Okay, so at one point, my husband drives a big truck, right? He likes his pickup a lot. He likes that it blows black smoke. He likes that it's fast. He likes that it can pull heavy stuff. All of that, right? He tells me it's a tool. It's also a bit of a toy, right? And one time, I overheard somebody make a snarky comment about his pickup. And they were like, and I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, that's my husband. No, it wasn't you. I was like, that's my husband you're talking about. Like, they just made a snarky comment. And if I'd been a little quicker on the draw, and if they had known I was eavesdropping on their conversation, I would have been like, have you ever read Ecclesiastes? Right? Have you read Ecclesiastes? It's okay to enjoy things. It's okay to enjoy life. It's okay for Carson to spend money on his pickup because he works hard taking care of our family. He works hard providing for us. He works hard so that I can be a stay-at-home mom. If he needs his truck to blow black smoke, it's well worth the smile on his face, okay? Because he works hard. Now, if we were living in a tent on the side of the road on Foster, and he was spending that much money on the truck, totally out of line, right? But he takes really good care of us, and then it's okay for him to enjoy life. And I thought about that conversation a lot. I'm like, if I just been a little quicker on the draw, I would have been, okay? So it's okay to have things you enjoy. I would say, balance it with moderation, balance it with the fear of the Lord, balance it with that. Follow other biblical principles of tithing, of, all the things. But it's okay to it's okay to bring a steak to roast over your campfire while you're camping, right? It's okay to just enjoy that. You don't have to just eat ballpark hot dogs. Does that make sense? Okay. Because it's a gift of God. Chapter 5, verse 17. It's a gift from God. Eat good food, rejoice in your labor. This is a gift from God to you. Okay? Another way to look at this is enjoy your job, not just the fruit of getting a paycheck from it, right? Enjoy your job. Sometimes you might have to change jobs. If you hate your job, maybe change jobs so you can enjoy your job. It's a biblical principle, right? Now that doesn't always work. Sometimes work is work, but it's okay to enjoy life. Chapter 6, verse 1. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is prevalent among men. A man to whom God has given riches and wealth and honor, so that his soul lacks nothing of all that he desires. Yet God has not empowered him to eat from them, for a foreigner enjoys them. This is vanity and a severe affliction. I don't know what this man did to have this, that he had riches and money and all the things and wasn't allowed to enjoy it. Maybe he wasn't living in this balance. I'm not sure.
Maybe he was a sinner that was working.
Yeah, maybe he was a sinner collecting money for Jackson. Go to verse 12. For who knows what is good for a man during his lifetime, during the few years of his futile life? He will spend them like a shadow. For who can tell a man what will be after him under the sun? Okay, we're going back to all die. Everybody dies. It's coming. It's futile. You're camping. Don't get too invested because it's going to go away, right? Just enjoy it and then be okay with it being done. Okay? When we were little, we would go camping with a whole group of our friends. Those were like the best camping trips. No regrets there. And every time when we had to pack up to leave, it was just like, it's going to be a whole year until we get to come back and camp with them again. And it was so heartbreaking. Okay? But then you move on and remember that there's a lot of life to live, and you see them other places, and pretty soon that year has passed, and there you are again, camping and enjoying camping. So don't get too stuck on having to leave. A lot of people fight really hard to not be done camping and to go home. It's something I don't understand. Okay, chapter 7. A good name is better than a good ointment. Your reputation it's better than a good ointment. And the day of one's death is better than the day of one's birth. Wouldn't it be interesting if we celebrated death like we celebrate birth? Like have a little like death announcement. Like, they were this tall and weighed this much and got to go home, right? It's a weird concept to us. Like, oh, that's strange. But it goes tradition. Let's start a new tradition. Let's do this. Verse 3, sorrow is better than laughter, for when a face is sad, a heart may be happy. The mind of the wise is in the house of the mourning, while the mind of fools is in the house of pleasure. Okay, so he goes through a lot of random bits of wisdom, okay, that you would need to just study out. We're not going to go through all of them today. Verse 12. For wisdom is protection, just as money is protection. But the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the lives of its possessors. Think about, we talked about last week about discernment, right? The wisdom that comes from knowing the Lord and the discernment. He goes, discernment's better than money, because that wisdom will protect your life. Go to verse 18. It is good that you grasp one thing and also not let go of the other. For the one who fears God comes forth with both of them. Wisdom strengthens a wise man more than 10 rulers who are in the city. Okay, I think if I'm reading it correctly, these are the two things to hold on to, okay? It's good that you grasp one thing and also not let go of another, okay? There's two things. For the one who fears God comes forth with both of them. If you fear God, you should have these two things. Wisdom strengthens a wise man more than 10 rulers who are in the city. There's a strength and wisdom. Indeed, there's not a righteous man on earth who continually does good and never sins. I think those are the two things, that recognizing those is part of fearing God, right? What's the first one? Wisdom. Wisdom will protect you, okay? That's a safety net. What's the second one? There's not anyone on earth who doesn't sin, right? I'm just going to put sin happens. Carson was talking with a friend this week who has been, how do I word this? Basically he's been doing some studying on this church that's kind of seeming kind of cultish, and one of their things is, once you're saved, you never sin. And if you do, then maybe you weren't saved. Kind of a thing. Okay. He goes, sin is a real deal. Don't seek it out by any means, but recognize that you can't be perfect before God. I don't know, I think these are the two things that he says. If you fear the Lord, you'll understand these things. You'll understand these things. And maybe this is to the point of recognizing how imperfect we are before a holy God. And there's a wisdom in that, of recognizing that you need a Savior. Because as soon as you go, did you know that the Amish people purposefully put a flaw in every quilt they make? Because they don't want to be perfect and like God. Okay? Recognize that you're flawed, even in your sewing. Right? Go to chapter 8. There's a lot of just like wise sayings we're going to skip through, okay? Chapter 8. Go to verse 11. I really like this tidbit of wisdom. Because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed quickly, therefore the hearts of the sons of men among them are given fully to do evil. I just was like, wow, that's our culture. It takes so long to be disciplined for any wrong you do that it's not a big deal to sin. People purposefully get themselves thrown into jail because you get 3 meals a day and a bed. Like, anyway, that was just a tidbit of wisdom. And I was like, Verse 13, he says, but it will not be well for an evil man, and he will not lengthen his days like a shadow, because he does not fear God. Verse 15, so I commended pleasure, for there's nothing good for a man under the sun except to eat and to drink and be merry. And this will stand by him in his toils throughout the days of his life, which God has given him under the sun. So, not fearing God, verse 13, it will not be well for the evil man to not fear God, but then just rejoice and eat your food and do life. Okay? Chapter 9, everybody dies. Chapter 9, verse 7. Go then, eat your bread in happiness, and drink your wine with a cheerful heart, for God has already approved your works. Let your clothes be white all the time. Sounds like a lot of work to me to wear white all the time. But I feel like it's like, dress nice, wear your nice clothes. Let not oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the woman whom you love all the days of your fleeting life, which he has given to you under the sun. For this is your reward in life, and in your toil in which you have labored under the sun. So your wife is your reward. Okay? Your wife is your reward. Your food is your reward. He's going, here, this is it, okay? Gals, there's a camaraderie and a loveliness about marriage, okay? This isn't just for the guys. Like, well, you get a wife, girls, tough it out. Like, No, there's a camaraderie and a friendship, and it's good. Verse 10, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For there is no activity or planning or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol where you are going. Okay, just do it well. Verse 16, so I said, wisdom is better than strength, but the wisdom of the poor man is despised, and his words are not heeded. The words of the wise, heard in quietness, are better than the shouting of a ruler among fools. I have an uncle. You guys, most of you know Uncle Mel. He's a pretty quiet man. But when he talks, you listen. Because there's wisdom there. The words of the wise, heard in quietness, are better than the shouting of a ruler among fools. I think of the riots in Portland and the yelling and the shouting. I'd way rather listen to Uncle Mel. Way rather. Jump to chapter 11. Chapter 11, verse 8. Indeed, if a man should live many years, let him rejoice in them all, and let him remember the days of darkness, for they will be many. Everything that is to come will be futility. Rejoice, young man, during your childhood, and let your heart be pleasant during the days of young manhood, and follow the impulses of your heart and the desires of your eyes. Okay, if you quit there, it'd be like, wow, there's some advice, right? Follow the impulses of your heart and the desires of your eyes. Not necessarily healthy, right? Look at the balance. Yet know that God will bring you to judgment for all these things. So again, Solomon, I feel like he picked his 4 points and then just hit them over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So if it feels like we're hitting them over and over and over, we are. So he tells them, follow the impulses of your heart and the desires of your eyes. Do what sounds fun, okay? I'm just going to sum it up that way. Do what sounds fun, but balance it, yet know that God will bring you to judgment. Okay? This goes back to the fear of the Lord and recognizing that we stand accountable before God for what we do. Right? And when you stand before God, you will stand alone. Jackson's not going to be able to be like, well, God, so-and-so made me do. Right? No. When you stand before God, you will stand alone, and you will give an account for your actions, for how you treated your siblings, for how you dealt with situations, for what you involved yourself in. Okay? So, it's this balance, always. This balance of enjoy life, but recognize what you enjoy. You will stand before God. So enjoy appropriate things. Enjoy things that are wholesome. Enjoy things that are God-honoring, right? It's okay to love playing volleyball and play volleyball every day of the week, right? That's fine. That's a wholesome activity. God's not going to be like, Chloe, you played a lot of volleyball, right? So find those wholesome activities. Find quality friends to do things with who aren't going to be like, hey, let's go do what sounds fun and not remember that God is watching. And then God says, okay, find that and then enjoy it. Have a good time. Have a really good time. I've had some of the absolute best times of my life with my friends doing ministry. Okay? Best times of my life. Fantastic. Totally wholesome. Totally fun. Right? Work that God gave us to do that we just did and enjoyed. Okay, I want feedback. I want to hear what you guys are thinking.
I love this next verse, I don't think you read it, verse 10, it says, so remove grief and anger from your heart and put away pain from your body, because your childhood and the prime of life are fleeting. So,
Yeah.
like, do what your heart desires and what's pleasant, but not anything that's going to bring grief or anger or
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Like, exclude those things, because
Yeah.
that's not gonna bring good, and life is short.
Yeah.
Life is short and then we die, it's like basically the.
Pretty much, honestly, it's like,
The book of
it's like,
Ecclesiastes, you know?
enjoy it, short, go home. Like, yeah, verse 12, or chapter 12, verse 1 really sums it up. It says, remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come and the years draw near when you will say, I have no delight in them. Okay? Remember your Creator. This goes back to the fear of the Lord. Remember that you are being watched, being held accountable for what you do. Okay, other thoughts? What are you guys thinking?
What I got from that, especially for, the end of 11 and going to verse 12. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth. It seems like he's specifically talking to the youth. Like what you do in your youth matters for when you're old.
Yeah.
It all ties together. So what the decisions that you make at 16 will matter when you're 16.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really stark example of that. One of the guys I graduated the same year as, had a kid with another girl I graduated the same year as. And I saw her this week in Fred Meyer. And it was like, wow, what a beautiful little girl. What a screwed up life. Like, because of the decisions they made, they live with that the rest of their life. Okay, and that one's been just pretty heavy on my mind because I'd never seen her before. And I saw her in Fred Meyer and was like, that's definitely his daughter. She looks like him. Like, okay, so yeah, your decisions will affect. That was absolute over here and no fear of the Lord decision. Okay? What else? What else are you thinking? My hope with this is to free you guys up to enjoy life. Because I feel like oftentimes there's a lot of pressure put, especially as some of you are getting close to graduating. And they're like, now what are you gonna do? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Enjoy life, play volleyball, I don't know, right? And there's a freedom to just enjoy life. And do what sounds fun. Do what you would like to do, okay? I like traveling. I've traveled a ton on mission trips. I got to do something that sounded so much fun, and it was also a good thing to do, right? Other people help you pay for it because it's a mission trip, right? Sounds really bad. Okay, what else? What else are you thinking?
Well, I like the positive spin that he puts on working, because I think that so many people look at work as a drudgery, and it can be a job you like or a job that's hard or whatever. But I mean, I know from my own experience, I worked a lot of different jobs, and it's very satisfying to me to go to work and to work hard and to feel that end of day tired.
Yeah, well, there's that verse.
Yeah.
The one who works hard sleeps well.
Yes, I mean, there's something very, very satisfying about that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he addresses that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you're right. He puts a very good spin on work. And whether you're in the home or whether you're working for an employer, I know if I can go to bed and the kitchen's clean and the dishwasher's running, I'm like, it's a good day, right? Just the satisfaction of work. And it's absolutely completely pointless because the next morning I unload the dishes and we get them all dirty again. Like it's absolutely pointless, but there's still so much satisfaction in it. Okay, when I left my house today, there was a load of laundry running, and it's like, no, we clean clothes when we get home. Okay, so there's a satisfaction in that. So yeah, there's a lot of people who look at work as an absolute drudgery. Look at our culture though. Look at the people who don't have a job and those who do, and contrast them.
But even more than a job, I think it's important, like what you just said, like my days at work are just as satisfying as the days at being a wife and a mom,
Yeah.
or in my home.
Yeah.
I think there's a big distinction between like the person who's sitting in their basement playing video games all day.
Oh yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Yeah, and the
Like,
person that's up and productive
Yeah.
and benefiting their family,
Mhm.
whether it's through bringing in an income or doing laundry, so
Doing the
everybody else
dishes,
clean
yeah.
clothes,
Yeah.
caring for
Yeah.
people, you know, if you're volunteering, I mean, having a point to your day.
hmm Yeah, I've often driven past homeless people and thought, what do they do all day? Like, what do they do all day? And I'm not meaning the one, like, I'm meaning the ones that are homeless because they choose to be homeless because they don't want to work. Like, that's a rough way to kill time. It's a really rough way to kill time.
You know, they have chores to do and don't realize that actually when they're doing those chores, they're contributing to that family. They're helping take care of each other
Yeah.
instead of just like, oh, I have to do my chores.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're actually contributing to the health of your family.
The whole family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even Isaac, he works so hard playing. And I commented about it to Rebecca one day, she's my sister-in-law, and she's like, well, Hannah, it's their job. Their job is to play and to learn and to practicing. Because like, Isaac will like pick up a handful of sand. He doesn't even close his hand, he just like, and like go throw sand off the edge of our driveway. Like, and I'm like, how do you do this indefinitely? And he's just like all invested. I'm like, well, it's pointless, just like washing the dishes, but
Cool.
but it's one of those things. Like, God's given us all tasks. Okay, other thoughts?
Well, like verse or chapter 3 says that our labor, the fruits of our labor, are a gift from God. Whether it's Isaac learning through playing,
Yeah.
or we're learning at work, or we're learning how to interact with other people, how to
Mhm.
make money, how to do different skills.
Yeah.
Or as like homemakers, we're always learning. So
Mhm.
that's part of the gift. Is He's giving us more wisdom and knowledge and trust in Him and
Yeah.
multi-layered.
Yeah. Your homework, your schoolwork. That's something that God has given you, right? There are cultures where you have to pay to be enrolled in school, and if you don't have the money, you don't get educated. Right? And I grew up so tired of school. When in reality, my perspective should have been vastly different.
Kids don't need to go to school.
Yeah, don't get to go to school, and then you're illiterate, and then you can't get a job, and then like it's so your school, your opportunity to do school is a gift. I'm gonna give you 3. Let you pass them down. Okay, any other thoughts? You have to do it 3 times, Jackson. Any other thoughts?
I feel like it's missing out a little bit. Like, you still gotta be intentional.
Mhm.
You still gotta be very thinking about what you're doing. It's
Mhm.
not just.
I see your dad doing this, and I think this boils down into the do good. And I just watching your dad run a business, and I get to see pieces of it because Samuel works for him and stuff. I feel like your dad is very intentional about doing good, doing the right thing on the job site, doing right by his employees, doing right by the people he's working for. All of that, right? You've talked to me about how he wants his guys to look classy so that he gives a better reputation. Like all of those pieces but I also just see him enjoying it, you know? And that balance of, I'm gonna do good and I'm gonna do it to honor the Lord, but I'm gonna be very intentional about it. So is that what you're saying? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
Okay, but yeah, I think it boils down to that. Do good, and you can be very purposeful about that in your work, and in your school, and in your ministry, and in all of that. What else? What else are you guys thinking? Okay, go to chapter 12. Here's your argument when you're needing to be done with school, okay? Chapter 12, verse 12. But beyond this, my son, be warned. The writing of many books is endless, and excessive devotion to books is wearying to the body. You guys are at that point, right? Where you're ready for summer. You're a little weary of school. I get it. Verse 13, the conclusion. When all has been heard, okay, Solomon goes to sum up. Okay, he's doing the pastor thing of like, in conclusion, and he actually stops talking, right? He doesn't end 3 times. The conclusion, when all has been heard, is fear God and keep his commandments, because this applies to every person. For God will bring every act to judgment, everything which is hidden, whether it is good or evil. That's Solomon's conclusion. Fear God and keep his commandments. Okay? Now we've looked at different commands of God. Rejoice in the Lord always. Pray without ceasing. There's so many commands. Every time God commanded to sacrifice, do you know what he did? Kill the goat, burn the blood and the fat, eat it, have a party, celebrate, right? God laid this out so clearly for his people. Even their sacrifices ended up being a celebration in so many aspects. Okay? Fear God, keep his commandments. That's you guys' job. That's what's expected of you. Okay? And there's a lot of freedom in that. A lot of enjoyment. Okay? As you sit at your campsite and poke the fire, go waiting, and do all the pointless things, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Then we get to go home and the real fun starts, right? Okay, for your homework, read Proverbs 20. I'm sorry, I left it as week 19. This is actually week 20, so you can cross that out and put week 20. It's actually not week 20, it's week 20 that I've given you homework. It's a little confusing. Read Proverbs 20 and then additional study for your paper. Study out and write a paper on what you think the fear of the Lord is. I want a 5-paragraph essay. Opening paragraph, 3 different points or examples of fear of the Lord, each a paragraph, and then a closing paragraph. Make sure it's complete, cover sheet, proper spacing, etc. Any questions? Okay, so 3 examples of what it looks like to fear the Lord. And then like Bible verse proof that that's correct and all that. Okay, any questions on that? Jess?
There's some suggestions on there.
This is for you. You're gonna have to study it out, okay? I'm not, this one, I want you, we've practiced different studying techniques and ways and ideas. So I want you to press in and work on it. I want you to talk this through with your parents. Talk to them about it. What does it look like to fear the Lord? How do we do that well? Okay? This stuff comes easily, right? Eat, drink, work, rejoice. None of you have to be like, what does it mean to eat? Okay, that's not a thing. So we're looking at the balance of fear the Lord. So I want you guys to really chew on this week. I would start with your concordance, or concordance. Look up fear of the Lord and start there, and just look up, what does that look like? look at people who feared the Lord. Moses feared the Lord. How did he live his life? Okay? David feared the Lord. How did he live his life? Absalom did not necessarily fear the Lord. How did he live his life? Like, just look at different people, look at different things, study it out, and figure out what are 3 things that quantify or that fear the Lord are. Any other questions? Sweet, let's pray. Lord, thank you. Thank you for today. Lord, thank you that Solomon broke our Christianity down pretty basic for us, that we just fear you and keep your commandments, and that the rest falls into place and we can enjoy it, and enjoy life, and not stress about it. Lord, I pray that we will rest in that, and rest in that knowledge of we don't have to find your will, you will give it to us as we need it, and it's not a stressful thing. Lord, I pray that you will teach us the fear of the Lord, that we will really step into that and balance well enjoying life. In Jesus' name.